I mean, every album cycle around, there's always those moments to where you got to pinch yourself because there's a new accomplishment each time, and now the newest one is being nominated for a Grammy. So there's always those surreal moments of like, wow, we're thinking back of being a garage band and we've accomplished a lot, and we still are, and 9 years later, something new like this and big like this kind of came our way. All those moments of us going to Kuwait and playing for the troops, or us sharing the stage with Metallica and Judas Priest and all the great classic metal bands, Ozzy and Sabbath, and it's very surreal. We only dreamt of having these opportunities and knowing that we must be doing something, we must be making our mark in the industry because we're getting these opportunities.
All I know is that there's nothing that compares to the sensation of being in front of a captive audience and feeling the energy being infused into you and you being able to liberate them. The whole point of our performance is the whole point of this genre of music. It sets you free. It gets you through the difficult times in your life. The need to purge. The need for catharsis, the need to speak about things that are very, very poignant and meaningful, to myself and to us personally. We have our tongue-in-cheek moments, like, Perfect Insanity, for example, or Devour, but for the most part, we deal with the more internal workings of the heart and the mind.
That's the real challenge, I think, on David's end of having to match, the words and the meaning to the melody that is already written for it. And I don't want to get too addicted to what is already there, but I want to get it to a point to where we're satisfied with it musically so that it is going to inspire him. So it's just kind of a fine line between, I don't want to spend too much time on the idea because then I'm going to be stubborn about it if it's not developing further, and then I have to find a way to sneak it in later down the line, as I always do. It's just finding that balance of, okay, getting it good enough to where it's going to send a chill up his spine and inspire something out of him.
It's sort of anticlimactic when you come up with a preconceived notion for a lyrical idea prior to there being any music that exists. Because the music should tell you and it should speak to you.
It's got to feel that way.
Yeah, that should be the instigator. It certainly is also the instigator for where I go tonally in terms of the rhythm and melody as well. Depending on the ferocity of what's thrown at me, I can't throw something very sweet and not all that rhythmic over something that's bludgeoning. So it really is all dependent on the bed of music in which it goes.
You guys get letters all the time from soldiers fighting overseas. They're fueled by this music, and that might eventually bring them home, the fight that your music gives them. How does that feel for you guys to be a part of something huge like that?
We couldn't be more proud than in any way. That's the epitome of what we try to create. To know that your music can bring strength to those who need it most. We're very, very proud that there's so many members of the armed forces that have utilized our music for strengthening and for courage.
Just over the years, we've had so many fighting men and women come to our shows, and we've met them at meet and greets, or we found out that they were coming. We'd always go out of our way to try to accommodate them and meet them and shake their hands, take pictures, and especially us earlier this year getting the opportunity to go to Kuwait and perform for them. And finally we were given the chance to not only just talk about it, in the press or on stage. We were given the opportunity to go meet them in person, being 12 miles from the Iraqi border, and just kind of living there for a few days and just seeing what it is that they go through and the sacrifices that they make. It really it hits home too, so to go over there and see that we go away for a couple days, and I'm away from everybody's away from their loved ones, and I got a couple kids I'm away from and it was hard just to do a couple days to be over there in the danger zone, and then thank God I don't have it so bad. These guys are over there and they haven't seen their kids in over a year or more. Some of them never even had newborns while they were gone, and to realize those type of sacrifices as well, you got to respect that and honor that.
This is a fan question from Anita K. She wrote in and asked about the music video for Prayer off the 2002 Believe album and how it got pulled. Did that have a monumental sort of impact on you guys? I mean, there's a lot of money that's being put into these videos and stuff, right?
Especially that one. It happened, unfortunately, because it was released just shortly after the anniversary of 9/11. All of the media outlets were hypersensitive to any imagery that could be even slightly reminiscent of it. And so we had an earthquake sequence in downtown Los Angeles. Okay? where there were rubble falling off the tops of tall buildings in downtown LA. Not really a crazy thought that an earthquake could happen, but since it was rubble coming off the top of tall buildings, oh my God, it's too much like 9/11, and so they banned the video on MTV. It's a shame because that was the most expensive video we made to date. The record company should have seen this coming a decade ago, if not more. You can't fight the future. You can't fight technology. You need to be ahead of the curve, not behind it. And they've been behind it for a very, very long time, and now everyone is paying for it. It really isn't that difficult to achieve a situation where there is a tremendous amount of file sharing that goes on, and it's still a profitable business for musicians. You take a look at Radiohead. Take a look at 9 Inch Nails. Let's talk about Radiohead specifically. They released their record online. 5 million people downloaded it, and they each contributed an average of $5 per person. It's still pretty damn good business. I don't think that fans are in the habit of wanting to rip off the artists that they love. We should always be forward-thinking and not trying to cling on with every fiber of our being to, the dinosaurs of the past.